Okay, good morning again, everyone. This is the next video lesson for all of you. Again, I've made this video for you to watch because I am a bit busy. I'm still busy. So I just want to produce this video for you to watch in order not to waste our time. So in the previous meeting, we finished adverbs already. Okay, the definition of adverbs, the formation of adverbs, the kinds of adverbs, and also the position of adverbs. So in this lesson, in this video lesson, everyone will be looking at the differences between adjective and adverb. So here you will see how the adverb is used and how the adjective is used. You learned adjective already in unit 5 in the first semester. Now I just want to compare the adjective and the adverb. Okay, let's see number 1. Adjectives modify nouns. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Okay, so the only job the adjective does is to modify noun or pronoun, but the adverbs, okay, modify verbs, modify adjectives, and modify other adverbs. You can recognize adverbs easily because many of them are formed by adding ly to an adjective. Okay, as I told you in the previous video, most adverbs end in ly. We add ly to the adjective in order to form adverbs. Here are some sentences that demonstrate some of the differences between an adjective and an adverb by showing what is being modified in each sentence. In each sentence, light blue arrows point to the adjectives and green arrows point to adverbs. So let's see. Okay, look at this one. Richard is careless. Look at this one. You see the arrow. The arrow is pointing from the adjective careless to the noun Richard. So it means that the adjective is used to modify noun. Okay, let's see explanation. Here, careless is an adjective that modifies the proper noun Richard. Now, if you look at the second example, Richard talks carelessly. Careless is adjective, carelessly is adverb. You can recognize it easily because it is with ly. It ends with ly. So look at the arrow pointing from the carelessly here adverb to the verb talks. So careless adjective modify noun. Carelessly is an adverb modifies the verb talks. Let's see explanation. Carelessly is an adverb that modifies the verb talks. Now let's have a look at the third example. Priya was extremely happy. You see, happy here is an adjective, and look at the arrow. The adjective is pointing from the arrow is pointing from the adjective happy to the noun Priya. But if you look at extremely here, extremely is an adverb, and the arrow is pointing from extremely to the adjective happy. So adjective modify noun, adverb modify adjective. Let's see explanation. Here, happy is an adjective that modifies the proper noun Priya, and extremely is an adverb that modifies the adjective happy. Let's see the last example. Brandon finished his work unusually quickly. All right, now let's have a look at the adverb quickly here. We can recognize it easily because it ends in ly. Quickly, the arrow is pointing to the verb finish. But if you look at unusually here, it's also adverb because it ends in ly. So this is pointing to the adverb quickly. In that case, it just means adverb modify adverb. Let's see explanation. Here, Quickly is an adverb that modifies the verb finish, and unusually is an adverb that modifies the adverb quickly. Next one. Adverbs can't modify nouns. You can see from the following incorrect sentences. It is true. We do not use adverb to modify noun. Only adjective is used to modify noun. Adverb cannot modify noun. Adverb modify verb, modify adjective, modify another adverb in the sentence. So let's have a look at the incorrect examples. He is a quietly man. All right, so if you look at this one, quietly here is an adverb, and in that case you tend to use the adverb quietly to modify the noun man. That is not correct. I have a happily dog. Happily dog, happily here is also an adverb. Dog is a noun. This is not correct. So in order to write the correct one, let's see the red one here. He is a quiet man. So adjective quiet modify the noun man. That is okay. I have a happy dog. Happy here is also adjective and it is used to modify the noun dog. This is also correct. On the other hand, it's sometimes easy to make the mistake of using an adjective to modify a verb, as the incorrect sentences below show. Okay, adjective can only be used to modify noun, and adjective cannot be used to modify a verb. Now let's see the incorrect sentences below. He talks careless about your wife. Okay, here careless is an adjective. Okay, careless is an adjective. You think in that case you want to use careless to modify the verb talk? No, this is not acceptable because careless is an adjective. It cannot be used to modify the verb. Another one, he is breathing normal again. Normal here is also adjective, and this is not correct. That's the reason why I cross the sentences. The correct one should say, he talks carelessly about your wife. So carelessly here is an adverb which is used to modify the verb talk. This is correct. Another one, he is breathing normally again. Okay, normally here is an adverb that is used to modify the verb breathing. 2. An adjective always follows forms of the verb to be when it modifies the noun before the verb. Okay, adjectives always follow forms of verb to be when it modifies the noun before the verb. So after verb to be, the adjective is used, and that adjective is used to modify the subject of the sentence. So let's see example. Here are some examples that show this rule. Light blue arrows point from the adjective to the noun that it modifies. Here, I was nervous. You see, verb to be here, was. Adjective pointing to the subject. She has been sick. This is also from the verb to be, been. The adjective point to the subject. Be careful. Be here is the verb and careful here is an adjective pointing to the subject you, but in that case the subject you is implied as a subject before the verb to be because the subject is already understood. They try to be helpful, so helpful here is also adjective and the arrow is pointing to the subject, and this is connected by the verb to be. 3. Likewise, an adjective always follows a sense verb or a verb of appearance. Feel, taste, smell, sounds, look, appear, and seem when it modifies the noun before the verb. I think everyone learns this already in the first semester, what we call linking verb. Okay, so the adjective follow these linking verbs or sense verb. Here are some examples that show this rule. Like below arrow points from the adjective to the noun it modifies. Here, Sharon's cough sounds bad. Okay, sound here, the verb bad is an adjective modify the subject. Here, bad is an adjective that modify the noun cough. Using the adverb badly here would not make sense because it would mean her cough isn't very good at sounding. So remember, linking verb, okay, linking verb, feel, taste, smell, sound, look, appear, and seem are all linking verb, and they are used to link the subject with the rest of the sentence. And the rest of the sentence are usually noun and adjective, which refer back or modify the subject of the sentence. Another example, castor oil tastes awful. Awful here is also adjective. It is connected by the verb taste, which is also considered as linking verb. Okay. Here, awful is an adjective that modifies the noun all. Using the adverb awfully here would not make sense because it would mean that castor oil isn't very good at testing. Another example, the ocean air smells fresh. Okay. Fresh here is adjective, smell here is also linking verb. It connects the subject with the rest of the sentence. And the rest of the sentence here is fresh, refer back to the subject. She seems unhappy today. You see here, unhappy also point to the subject she. And it is connected by the verb seems. Here, unhappy is an adjective that modifies the pronoun she. Using the adverb unhappily here would not make sense because it would mean that she isn't very good at seeming. Let's see the last one. The images on the negative appear dark. Okay, dark here is also adjective. Appear is the linking verb which connect the subject images with the rest of the sentence. So dark here, adjective pointing to the subject image. Here, dark is an adjective that modifies the noun images. Using the adverb darkly here would not make sense because it would mean that the images were suddenly popping into view in a dark manner. Be careful to notice whether the word modifies the subject or the verb in the sentence. Okay? Again, be careful to notice whether the word modifies the subject or the verb in the sentence. If the word modifies the subject, you should use an adjective. If the word modifies the verb, you should use an adverb. All right, let's see here. So, again, if the word modifies the subject, you should use adjective. If the word modifies the verb, you should use adverb. All right, let's see example. This apple smells sweet. What smells sweet? Apple. So this word modify the subject. So we use adjective. Okay. Here, sweet is an adjective that modifies the noun apple. Using the adverb sweetly here would not make sense because it would mean that the apple can smell things in a sweet manner. Another one. Your dog smells carefully. Okay. So how does your dog smell? It smells carefully. So in that case, the word is modified, is used to modify the verb. So we must use adverb. Here, carefully is an adverb that modifies the verb smell. Using the adjective careful here would not make sense because it would mean that the dog gives off an odor of carefulness. All right, so that's it. The difference is between adjective and adverb. Okay, the differences between an adjective and adverb. So let me finish my explanation here, and I just want all you to watch the video from the beginning to the end. When you finish watching the video, do the exercise. Okay, exercise here from number 1 to number 15, and you also have the decision to make here whether to choose adjective or adverb. This is something you have to do as well from number 1 until number 15. So finish this exercise and send back to me. You will get the marks. So totally, this is 15 marks and another 15 marks here. Okay, so 30 marks for this exercise. All right, before I end my presentation, let me just go back a little bit on the explanations in Khmer language. អូខេឥឡូវនេះបងប្អូនមើលការបញ្យល់របស់គ្រូជាភាសាខ្មែរម្ដងដើម្បីឲ្យបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាយល់កាន់តែច្បាស់តើគុណនាមនិងគុណកិរិយាសព្ទហ្នឹងវាខុសគ្នាយ៉ាងម៉េច dương đăng hai thà cô là niếmត្រូវបានគេប្រើដើម្បីបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យនាមឬមួយក៏បញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យសព្វនាមកូនចាំណាគុណនាមគេប្រើវាដើម្បីបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យនាមឬមួយក៏បញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យសព្វនាមចំណែកឯគុណគេស័ព្ទណាគុណគេស័ព្ទនោះគឺគេប្រើដើម្បីបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យគេស័ព្ទបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យគុណនាមក៏បានបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យគុណគេស័ព្ទគ្នាវាក៏បានដែរអញ្ចឹងយើងមើលថាតើគុណនាមនិងគុណគេស័ព្ទហ្នឹងវាខុសគ្នាយ៉ាងម៉េចគេប្រាប់គេណាគុណនាមបញ្ជាក់ន័យនាមប៉ុន្តែសម្រាប់គុណគេស័ព្ទវិញបញ្ជាក់ន័យគេស័ព្ទក៏បានបញ្ជាក់ន័យគុណនាមក៏បានបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យគុណគេស័ព្ទដទៃទៀតក៏បានដែរហើយយើងដឹងហើយថាគុណនាមនិងគុណគេស័ព្ទខុសគ្នាត្រង់ថាគុណគេស័ព្ទជាទូទៅគឺបញ្ចប់ទៅដោយអក្សរ ly ណាបន្ទាប់ពីយើងចប់ slide នេះទៅគ្រូនឹងទៅ rap នៅក្នុងសៀវភៅម្ដងទៀតចុះបងអាចរៀនបាន2ដងគឺដើម្បីឲ្យវាកាន់តែច្បាស់ឥឡូវយើងមើលឧទាហរណ៍ Richard is careless ឃើញទេអញ្ចឹង careless គឺជាគុណនាមគឺវាតែបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យនាមអញ្ចឹងហើយយើងត្រូវប្រើវាជាគុណនាមចំណែក Richard talks carelessly យើងត្រូវប្រើ carelessly ហើយព្រោះវាបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យ talk បាទអញ្ចឹងយើងមើលបង្ហាញគុណនាមបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យនាមឧទាហរណ៍ទី1ឧទាហរណ៍ទី2គុណគេស័ព្ទបញ្ជាក់ន័យគេស័ព្ទឧទាហរណ៍ទី3គុណគេស័ព្ទបញ្ជាក់ន័យគុណនាមកូនខេងសញ្ញាបាញ់ពី extremely ទៅ happy ប៉ុន្តែ happy នៅដដែលនៅតែបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យនាមដដែលឃើញទេបាទទូនាទីទី3របស់វាគឺគុណគេស័ព្ទ unusually ហ្នឹងវាបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យគុណគេស័ព្ទអញ្ចឹងយើងដឹងហើយទូនាទី3ខ្លួនឃើញទេគុណគេស័ព្ទនេះពណ៌វាប្រចាំងមក talk បាញ់មក talk បាញ់ទៅគុណនាម happy និងបាញ់ទៅគុណគេស័ព្ទ quickly យើងអាចប្រើ adverb ទៅបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យនាមបានទេព្រោះយើងត្រូវតែចាំនិយមន័យ adverb បញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យនាមអត់បានទេណា adverb បញ្ជាក់ន័យបានតែគេស័ព្ទបញ្ជាក់ន័យបានតែគុណនាមនិងគុណគេស័ព្ទគ្នាវាទេទូនាទីដែលបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យនាមមានតែគុណនាមទេណាអញ្ចឹងយើងមើលឧទាហរណ៍ក្រោមនេះគឺវាមិនត្រឹមត្រូវដូច្នេះយើងអាចយកជាការទេទៅយក adverb បញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យនាមអត់បានទេខ្ញុំខ្វែងចោលហើយខ្ញុំឲ្យឧទាហរណ៍ដែលត្រឹមត្រូវហើយមួយទៀតភាគច្រើនគាត់ច្រឡំយកគុណនាមបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យគេស័ព្ទត្រូវតែចាំថាគុណនាមបញ្ជាក់ន័យបានតែនាមទេឬក៏សព្វនាមទេអញ្ចឹងមិនអាចប្រើគុណនាមបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យផ្សេងទៀតបានទេបញ្ជាក់បានតែនាមឬមួយក៏សព្វនាមតែប៉ុណ្្នឹងឯងអញ្ចឹងក្នុងឧទាហរណ៍នេះគឺយើងយកគុណនាមបញ្ជាក់ន័យគេស័ព្ទគឺខ្ញុំខ្វែងចោលដែរហើយខ្ញុំក៏មានប្រយោគដែលត្រឹមត្រូវឲ្យបងមើលណាបាទហើយជាទូទៅនៅក្រោយ verb to be ហ្នឹងនៅក្រោយ verb to be យើងដឹងហើយ verb to be ហ្នឹងយើងរៀនតាំងឆមាសទី1ម៉េចវាអាចដើរតួជា linking verb ណានៅក្រោយ verb to be ហ្នឹងវាត្រូវការគុណនាមអញ្ចឹងគុណនាមឈរនៅក្រោយ verb to be ហ្នឹងដើម្បីត្រឡប់ទៅបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យប្រធានវិញដូចសញ្ញាព្រួញដែលខ្ញុំធ្វើឡើងដើម្បីបាញ់ឲ្យយើងឃើញអញ្ចឹងឃើញទេបាញ់ព្រួញទៅស័ព្ទជីទៅប្រធានយើងមើលទៅឧទាហរណ៍ហ្នឹងខ្ញុំអានបញ្យល់ជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសយើងគាត់ថាមើលខ្ញុំបកស្រាយជាភាសាខ្មែរខ្លះឡើងវិញមកបាទមួយទៀតគុណនាមហ្នឹងក៏វាឈរនៅក្រោយគេស័ព្ទទាំងអស់នេះដែរអូនចាំណាគេស័ព្ទទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងគេចាត់ទុកថាជា verb sense ឬក៏ sense verb ឬក៏ក្នុង semester ទី1នោះគឺយើងហៅវាថា linking verb អញ្ចឹងនឹងក្រោយគេស័ព្ទហ្នឹងគឺយើងប្រើគុណនាមឃើញទេបងគុណនាមហ្នឹងវាត្រូវតែត្រឡប់ទៅបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យប្រធានវិញនឹងឯងឃើញទេដូចជាឧទាហរណ៍មួយនេះអញ្ចឹងbad បញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យ cough នេះ awful បញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យ all fresh បញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យ air unhappy បញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យប្រធាននេះណាបាទ she មួយទៀតដដែលនេះ dark ឃើញទេ dark បាញ់ព្រួយទៅរកប្រធាន images ហើយវាតភ្ជាប់ដោយ linking verb appear បាទចុងក្រោយគេបញ្ជាក់យ៉ាងខ្លីថាបើពាក្យហ្នឹងបញ្ជាក់នៅឯប្រធានបងអូនត្រូវតែប្រើវាជាគុណនាមតែបើសិនតែពាក្យហ្នឹងបញ្ជាក់នៃគេអាស័ព្ទបងអូនត្រូវតែប្រើវាជាគុណគេអាស័ព្ទក្នុងករណីនេះបងអូនមើលឃើញទេ This apple smells sweet ផ្លែប៉ោមនេះមានក្លិនឈ្ងុយស្អីគេឈ្ងុយប៉ោមឃើញទេប៉ោមហ្នឹងមិនបាច់ឈ្ងុយដូច្នេះអាពាក្យហ្នឹងគឺវាបញ្ជាក់នៅឲ្យប្រធានបើវាបញ្ជាក់ឲ្យប្រធានគឺដាច់ខាតត្រូវតែប្រើវាជាគុណនាម sweet តែច្រឡំដាក់ sweetly អីអត់បានទេណាបាទនេះគេថាឆ្កែរបស់អ្នកហាត់ក្លិនយ៉ាងប្រុងប្រយ័ត្នគេថាអញ្ចឹងក្នុងករណីនេះ carefully នេះវាបញ្ជាក់ន័យឲ្យគេអាស័ព្ទបើសិនតែយើងបញ្ជាក់ន័យគេអាស័ព្ទយើងត្រូវតែប្រើវាជាគុណគេអាស័ព្ទ តើណាបាទហ្នឹងហើយមេរៀនយើងគឺមេរៀនទី6គឺមានតែប៉ុណ្្នឹងឯងបញ្ចប់ហើយយើងក៏មិនទាន់ចប់ដែរដូចខ្ញុំប្រាប់អញ្ចឹងថាយើងមើលវីដេអូឲ្យចប់សិនចាំធ្វើលំហាត់ណាលំហាត់នេះគឺយើងត្រូវធ្វើឲ្យផ្ញើឲ្យគ្រូអានេះ15បន្ទុកបូកជាមួយនឹងអានេះជំរើស adverb និង adjective 15ទៀតគឺយើងសរុបទៅ30បន្ទុកណាបន្ទាប់ពីយើងចប់អានឹងហើយគឺយើងនឹងបន្តទៅចូលមេរៀនបន្តទៀតនៅក្នុងសៀវភៅបាទមេរៀនទី6នៅក្នុងសៀវភៅខ្ញុំនឹង rap មេរៀនទី6ម្ដងទៀតនៅក្នុងសៀវភៅណាបាទហ្នឹងហើយអរគុណសម្រាប់ការមើលវីដេអូនេះតាំងពីដើមដល់ចប់ហើយកុំភ្លេចធ្វើលំហាត់ផ្ញើចម្លើយមកឲ្យគ្រូវិញណាដើម្បីបានបន្ទុកដែលខ្ញុំបានប្រាប់បន្លងមកឲ្យថាលំហាត់ដែលខ្ញុំដាក់ឲ្យធ្វើគឺមិនគិតខុសត្រូវទេឲ្យតែធ្វើឲ្យខ្ញុំគឺបានបន្ទុកឲ្យអាហ្នឹងពេញណាបងណាធ្វើឲ្យខ្ញុំគឺបានបន្ទុកពេញអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំគិតខុសត្រូវមានតែ quiz ហើយនឹង test ទេការងារ homework ការងារ class activity តែខ្ញុំឲ្យធ្វើខ្ញុំមិនគិតខុសត្រូវឲ្យតែធ្វើគឺបានបន្ទុកពេញអូខេអញ្ចឹងគ្រូសូមបញ្ចប់ការ live តែប៉ុណ្ណេះហើយបងមើលវីដេអូទៅហើយកុំភ្លេចធ្វើលំហាត់ផ្ញើមកឲ្យគ្រូណាបាទអរគុណ